Hey, everybody. Good to see you. Stephanie Bowden with Ascend Wealth, licensed financial professional, here today to talk about our retirement crisis. Hang on while I share a slide with you. So here we are. Urgent steps to secure your future. America faces an unprecedented retirement crisis that threatens millions of hardworking citizens like you and me. What was once a secure path to a dignified retirement has become increasingly uncertain. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on and what you can do right now to protect your financial future. All right, little history here. 1950s to 1970s, the golden era of the retirement. 80% of companies offered pension plans to their employees, and people were saving an average of 11 to 12% of their income. Social Security was a supplemental income, as it always was intended to be. 1980s to 2000s, there was a shift to individual responsibility. Introduction of the 401k in 1978, pension coverages dropped dramatically, and personal savings rates fell to 5 to 7%. And today, the crisis has emerged. Only 15% of people working in the United States have a pension. Personal savings below 5%, less than half of what was being saved just a few decades ago. And Social Security projected to deplete and be totally gone or severely decreased by 2034. We've truly transitioned from a system where employers and the government shared retirement responsibility to where individuals bear nearly all of the burden without adequate preparation or resources. All right, so let's talk a little bit about our vanishing culture of savings. Americans are not saving enough, not at all. We used to save 11 to 12%. Now we're less than 5%, maybe a third of what we were saving before. And hey, guys, I get it. Rising cost of living, especially in housing and healthcare, stagnant wages for the middle class workers, increasing consumer debt. The average American carries $93,000 in debt. Cultural shift towards consumption over saving. What's that saying? Everybody's trying to keep up with the Joneses. Financial products prioritizing spending over saving. The savings gap for the average American family is now estimated at close to $2 million. $1.8 million between what they've saved and what they actually need. Okay, let's talk about those pension plans and the disappearance of them. In the 1980s, about half of workers were covered by pension plans. 2000s, it goes down to 21%. Today, 4% are covered with a retirement or pension plan of some sort. You know what? Without these pensions, the average worker now needs to be a financial expert to manage their retirement and investments and make savings last 20 to 30 plus years. Okay, what about that Social Security system, the one that was only ever meant to be a supplement to our retirement? Okay, here we go. It was only intended to replace about 40% of our pre-retirement income. 1960, there were a little over 5.1 workers were in the workforce working for each one person that was receiving a Social Security check. Today, it's fallen to 2.8 workers working for every one person that receives a Social Security check. And by 2035, it's projected to drop down to only 2.3 people working for every one person that gets a Social Security check. Do the math. Social Security is not going to be your primary income source or the majority of your funds. Dot, dot, dot. How about that 401k? 401k was never meant to be your only retirement plan. When 401k plans were introduced in 1978, they were intended as a supplement to pensions, not a replacement. Oh, wait, what was it that we said about pensions? Only 4% of the people now in the workforce are going to have a pension. Yeah, they were supposed to supplement the pension. The provision was actually tucked into a tax code revision. It's a tax code, a tax law for our companies, the companies that we work with. It's a tax break for them. It is not a tax break for the people that are going to need them for retirement. The founder of the 401k, Ted Benna, he called it a monster. And he's concerned because it doesn't have the ability, apologies, because it's too complex and too expensive. There's all these fees that are incurred that originally were supposed to be paid by the companies. It's too complex. It takes a lot of education and effort to understand it. So it's really not ideal for mainstream America. The reality. Americans are unprepared. 40% of our working households are approaching retirement and have no retirement savings at all. $135,000. That's the median savings of the people that do have some type of retirement, aged 55 to 64, far below the $1 to $1.15 million that they really need to have. Annual income that they'll average from that $135,000 at a 4% withdrawal rate, which is the recommended rate to withdraw, $135,000 in savings gives them $19,000 a year. Can you live on $19,000 a year in your retirement? I don't know. 77% of Americans are anxious about having enough money to be comfortable for retirement. It's a harsh reality. We're on track to downgrade our lifestyle dramatically in retirement or work well into our 70s and beyond, unless we do something different. Okay. Urgent action. This is a call to action. This is what needs to happen now. Maximize your contributions. Seek out low risk accounts when you do that. Delay your Social Security. A delay from the age of 62 to 70 can increase your monthly benefit by up to 76%, providing thousands of additional dollars. A lot of people are already talking about working until they're 67, 68, 69, even 70. Look at the numbers, do the math. Consider part-time work. Maybe something fun. Do you have a craft or a hobby? Would you go sit at a farmer's market and sell honey or some cute little item that was handmade or birdhouses that you made in your garage? Think about it. What do you like to do? What could make you some money in your retirement? And consult a financial professional. Make sure you ask questions about the cost and fees and charges and what do they charge. Remember, the most important step for you to take is to take some action, any action today towards savings for your retirement. Even small changes can compound significantly over time. Now, thinking about your retirement system, you have your Social Security. We don't know how much we're going to get, but it's there. Okay, let's add to it. What about our retirement accounts? We talked about high cash value and low risk accounts in the past. These are ideal because you never lose money and you have the opportunity to gain interest. And sometimes it's even tax-free. 401ks, IRAs, health savings accounts, maximize your contributions into these types of accounts. Then don't forget personal savings. You need to have a little bit of money for emergency funds and any additional investments that aren't maybe as low risk that you would be interested in. And then what is that alternative income? I don't know. Maybe crochet is your bag. Maybe it's not. Figure out what you like to do that can make you some extra money. And expense reduction. This one's probably the hardest and the most painful. But think about it. Do you need everything that you have? Can you downsize something a little bit right now? Relocating maybe even to an area where it's lower cost. And then, of course, there's debt elimination. We need to pay that down as well. The most successful retirees develop income streams to replace their working income and reduce their dependence on any single source. You have to have multiple sources of income in your retirement. All right, next steps, schedule that financial assessment with a licensed financial professional within the next 30 days. Do it now, as soon as you finish listening to me. Actually, in a minute, there's going to be a code you can scan to schedule immediately. Get a clear picture on where you stand. Diversify. Understand the risks and market volatility with the potential loss of interest and principal. Money you've already made, you could lose. So let's talk about it. Okay, boost your contributions. We just said that a minute ago. Roth IRA contributions, increase them by at least 1%, 1% annually. Maximize your deposits into those high cash value, low risk accounts that could be tax free or possibly tax deferred, and increase your 401k to match your employer's contribution. You don't want to leave any money on the table, right? And then number 3, this one is where you get to use your imagination. Create your work optional plan. What is it? What does it look like? Develop a written plan for how you might contribute and continue earning income into your 60s and 70s through part-time work, consulting, or that passion business that we just chatted about. Now, trying to smile here at the end of it. And the retirement crisis is real, but it doesn't have to be your crisis. With awareness, planning, and decisive action, you can create a secure and dignified retirement. The key is to start now. Today, start today, no matter where you currently stand. You can contact me to get your complimentary readiness assessment, your retirement assessment. My phone number is here on the slide. Here's my website, ascendwealth@info.com. Or even better yet, I know you have your cell phone, scan this QR code, schedule time right now. Schedule time with me. It costs you nothing, but it can provide everything for your future. Take care. Talk to you soon.